than Magic Johnson. And while you chew on that, we welcome our buddy Zach Lowe in here. You know the Lowe Post on the ESPN app and on iTunes and everything else. Great to have you. Good to see you. We actually were just talking about something you said yesterday, and we were yelling at you, just so you know, in your absence. So we thought it was appropriate to bring you in here and yell at you in person.
You yell at me anytime you want.
All right, we got a bunch
I'm yelled at all the time. It's second nature.
Bunch of different things we want to get to in here. Let's start with James Harden, right? So he's got an MVP caliber year. We all know what he does on offense. That's the easy thing to see. But here's a couple of things that are worth noting about his defense.
Stop it.
Especially against the Warriors.
What do you mean, stop it?
Head-to-head, Harden effective in defending Klay Thompson. Limited him to 3 buckets on 8 attempts and only 1 3. He was not as effective against others, especially against KD. Golden State averaged an absurd 135 points per 100 possessions in the half court when Harden's guarding KD. That's more than 20% better than their season average. So I get that these are a lot of advanced analytics, but these are the numbers. What is your overall sense of Harden as a defender? This is where people say he's improved, and clearly in this series it's going to matter.
Well, first of all, if he's defending KD, it's a problem. But anyone defending KD is. Before Drew Holiday had no shot defending KD. Harden actually, there's a couple things he's good at. Post defense, he actually fights pretty hard. They put him on fours a lot. He gets slow poke away steals. But even Utah, you saw by the end of their series, their game plan was get him switched onto Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell will drive right by him. Perimeter defense is still kind of a weakness for him, and I do think it'll be interesting to see if the Warriors, who played the beautiful game, they pass and cut, they move it around, how much will they just say, hey, where's James Harden? Let's go at him, slow our whole offense down to do it.
Would you do that? Is that what you would do if you were Golden State?
Not at all.
Attack Harden?
Not at all, because that's not who the Golden State Warriors are. That's actually who the Houston Rockets are. The Golden State Warriors predicate their offense on ball movement. The player that's open follows the energy of the basketball and therefore gets the shot. This is why James Harden is going to be on Klay Thompson, because he's a spot-up shooter. He doesn't play much off the bounce, and he can stay in front of him pretty much. And so when he gets caught on someone else, that's virtually going to be an accident.
Let me ask you, Beetle. I know you did vote for James Harden for MVP, yes?
Yes, I did.
Was the fact that he is an improved defender a factor in that at all?
That he was improved?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, from what he was.
It was not?
Oh, improved defender?
Yeah.
From what he was?
I mean, it was a pretty low bar.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it could only go up.
Is he paying attention on the defensive end? If so, that's a step in the right direction.
It's better than, I mean, look, this was the punchline to every joke for a few seasons. So the fact that he has improved, I mean, he's not amazing. Don't get me wrong. That's not why I voted for him. But I did see improvement, and I do think that should be taken. No, I don't know why you made that face at me when I said yes. Why did you vote for him?
Because he's a terrific offensive player.
Okay, but you can't say that he improved on the other end as well?
He improved some, but here's what the Rockets did, not James Harden. They got him help.
Well, sure.
They brought in Chris Paul, which took away his ball handling usage. They brought in Tucker. They brought in Bamute to go with Ariza, to go with Capella. So they have capable defenders around him, where they can put him on the least likely player on the offensive on the other team to score. So that automatically is going to make you better, because you're now playing against the fourth option. And also, you can now challenge him and say, hey, we got you some help. We need you at least to play a little bit better. And so he has improved in that.
You mentioned Capella in there. Let's get to him a little bit, because he has certainly upped his performance during this postseason, especially against Utah. It's a complicated way of phrasing it, but just how big a difference maker is he in a series like this against the Warriors, especially if they want to go with that Hamptons 5, where you would think, does that play away from or into the strength of a guy like Capella?
Yeah, as sexy as it is, like when the Rockets signed all the guys Jalen was just talking about, everyone said, oh, they can play P.J. Tucker at center and go 5 little guys or 5 wings just like the Warriors do. They can't win this series playing that way. They need to have Capella to have a really good series. He just raises their ceiling. They have no rim protection without him. He's their best screen setter. He just sort of, a lot of the series will come down to when they switch him onto Curry, can he hang, or is Curry going to roast him like we've seen him roast so many big men before? And Capella has been unbelievable in the playoffs. All season, but in the playoffs he's been special.
So much so that I saw a blurb this morning somewhere that the Phoenix Suns are focusing on him and want to offer him a max or close to max deal. I was like, wow, talk about playing yourself season-wise into a nice big fat.
Is he a player on that caliber?
I like Clint Capella a lot, but I wouldn't make him the anchor franchise level maximum player like the Pelicans did with Anthony Davis, for example, if I'm the Phoenix Suns.
How about what the Heat did with Hassan Whiteside?
They're regretting that signing.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
They're regretting that signing. And so for this series, however, for Capella, here's what you watch for. If Draymond Green is making threes, if he's able to do that, that brings Capella away from the basket. If he's not doing that, he's going to be more effective clogging up the paint, rebounding, and blocking shots. So that's going to be a key that I'm going to be watching.
See, I think if Draymond makes threes, it's curtains anyway. If he and Iguodala make threes, it's over. And I disagree, actually. I don't care if he makes 5 in a row. You just don't guard. You can't guard him because their other players are so dangerous. You just have to live with him, even if he gets on a hot streak.
All right, and I got one more thing I want to bring up here, and let the record show we're having a fire alarm.
By the way, if this is a fire, and y'all aren't telling me to leave this studio right now, we're going to have real problems on our hands.
I'd like everyone just to be in awe of how calm I was
it's getting louder.
in delivering that. At this point, I'm assuming you can hear it behind us.
We're going to go through it.
New show, new studio, live TV.
You know what, guys?
Assuming that we're safe, I want to ask you a question. And that is, I brought up earlier this morning, and I hope that I'm wrong, and the good news is that I so frequently am. I think this series is going to be a dud. I think it's very one-sided. I think Golden State is unfairly good. They added Kevin Durant to a team that won 73 games. They are, at this point now, 24-3 in the playoffs since then. We talk about the matchup. Jalen just broke down all of the players. The top 2 best players in this series are both on Golden State, and 4 of the best 6.
Well, we might have to go to a break.
You know what? I'm being told that it is now disturbing enough that we're going to very quickly go ourselves to a break. We'll take a short commercial timeout, and if everything goes well, we'll be back in just a moment. You're watching Get Up on ESPN.
The sun is shining, so why venture